Hi, my name is Joe. Welcome to Color Positive Movies. If you like talking movies and watching movie reviews, make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when new content is up. 2018 is quickly coming to an end, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to go back and take a look at all the movies, or maybe not all the movies, but most of the movies that we review throughout the year. We got them kind of broken down, action and adventure, we have indie and documentary, we got some sci-fi, we got some horror. At the end, top picks. Make sure you watch to the end. We got some top picks. 3 or 4 movies that we really enjoyed this year that we thought were amongst the better films of 2018. All right, so enough talk. Let's jump right in and let's take a look at the films of 2018. I really sat there afterwards comparing it to other quote-unquote shark movies. I mean, it's not Jaws, but then many aren't. There's some upper-tier shark movies. This, I don't think, is quite there. It's more of a monster movie, I guess. All right, so after Gamora, Vision. I thought Vision was very powerful. He had the last Infinity Stone, and they tried to destroy it. They couldn't. I thought his loss was pretty impactful. So up until now, I was into it, and overall, I really enjoyed the movie. Don't get me wrong; I think it's really good. This is a straight up '90s action movie. It doesn't pretend to be anything else. You kind of got to suspend disbelief a bit because there's a lot of long jumps and big fires and swinging off the side of the building, a la Die Hard. How does Deadpool 2 live up to Deadpool or measure up? I think it does pretty well. I think they're on equal footing. Different kind of movies, a similar vibe. You get the Deadpool vibe. There's so many one-liners. I gotta watch it 2 or 3 times to catch all the jokes. Most impressive was the helicopter chase. I could have watched that for 2 hours, and not just the action. I want to mention the cinematography, just the way it's cut together, and the helicopter chase through the mountains, even the motorcycle chase, the halo jump. Everything just looks so awesome. It's we haven't seen this level of filmmaking in quite a while for an action movie. There's enough story here to make this a good, solid film. I mean, don't get me wrong. This film, the action and the sequences and the fighting carry it, but there's a pretty good story going on. Pictured her daughter to be was something other than that, and I found that really interesting. And once that's kind of established, it turns into basically a thriller, a detective story where he's trying to figure out what happened to his daughter and who was the last to see her. So describe what you're getting into if you watch this movie. There's a guy going to the bathroom. He's taking a pee. His throat gets slit. Then his head gets ripped off. His head falls into the toilet, and you have a shot looking down at him peeing on his own face. End scene. Fantastic part of this movie was Laurie Strode's struggle. Agoraphobe, she's isolated, destroyed her family, divorced twice. She's just a wreck, and Jamie Lee Curtis is fantastic, and that should have been the whole story. They should have wrapped it around all of that. Another level to suspense, their daughter's deaf. So not only can't she hear, obviously, but she doesn't really know what kind of sound she's making. So that whole dynamic works really well throughout the film. As terrifying as the bear was, I found myself kind of sorry for it, because it didn't seem like it knew what happened to it. Molecules, everything's starting to change or blend together. Now this bear is different than what it was. So it came across kind of sad. Now let's just groundbreaking. No, we've seen it with Unfriended. Similar concept. You got used to the pop-ups and different cameras, and the Skype look. Everyone kind of coming and going. Don't leave. Don't hang up the phone. They're gonna know. Don't call the police. That kind of stuff. We've seen that before. All right, now there are some other brutal scenes in this film, but I never got the sense it was just gratuitous violence to be gratuitously violent. It is done pretty well, and in particular, later on in the movie, there's a chase scene. I'm not going to give too much away, but that gets really intense and really bloody. It was unique camera work, I would say. I hadn't quite seen it before, the way the camera moves from the ground and up, because he kind of moves robotically at times when the artificial intelligence takes over. Block, punch, that kind of direction he gets internally. And it's done really quick and choppy, but it's just as fast as computer's thinking is how fast the fight scene's going. And they were pretty good, and they're pretty gruesome too. I will say that. So there's a little touch of horror into it. It's a solid horror movie. We kind of seen it before. It's zombie/final girl. Strong. There's no real, we can't help ourselves, cower in a corner. These are strong characters fighting for their lives. A bit refreshing. The Unconditional. This film introduces us to two kids, Kobe, she's 8, and Leighton, he's 5, and how they're trying to navigate through this world they can't really fully communicate or participate in, nor can they fully understand it. Now, the Death series was a series of photographs of models posing if they were killed or murdered, and that was successful. It was successful for a lot of reasons. People, even though it was so disturbing, they couldn't look away. Some found the beauty in death, the way they were positioned, and some found a certain eroticism to them. So that was very successful. But there was something much more sinister going on with those photographs than the public knew about. The use of the N-word. Collins will use it talking to Miles, but Miles never uses the word. And Collins, why won't you use it? Why won't you call me? Why won't you, just talk to me like, you're my brother? And Miles like, I can't use that word. I can't say it. I just can't do it. And that was so well done in a way that was so honest and tough to watch, honestly. But man, I think that's a scene that people will be talking about for quite a while. A note about Joaquin Phoenix's performance is, this is a really troubled guy. I mean, as he's trying to save these young girls, he's also having his own breakdown. He's reliving what he's experienced, or the other girls that he tried to save, or what he's seen through this terrible world of sex trafficking. So it's a complicated character that just, I haven't seen something like this since probably Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver. Now, the director doesn't pull any punches. It's not gratuitous, but it is hard to watch when you start shooting those kids and they're running and screaming and they're hiding in the woods and they're stuck, they're holding on the cliffs. Man, it's tough to watch, but again, it's one of these movies that I believe you need to talk about, and those stories of survival need to be told.
At the end, when the mom walked out.
Oh, yeah.
And then Victor's dad.
You're talking, yeah.
Yeah.
Victor's mom walks out.
Right. And when Victor's dad turned around for a split second, I thought he was going to do the same thing on him.
Yeah. There you go. I'm
like, oh my God. And then when he did opposite what I thought, and when he went to him, that was my moment of that movie.
Perfect.